Hey everyone, welcome back to Shock and Schlock. I am your host, Herschel Gillis, and today we are going to be taking a look at the 2020 film Psycho Ape by director Addison Binek. So this is a first for the channel. Usually I do my intro here, but this is going to be a sort of more informal review as I just watched this last night. Wanted to do a fresh review on this one. I was actually contacted by the director Addison on Instagram, and he allowed me a copy of the film to watch for a review, so thank you to him for that. Yeah, I'm not going to let that affect my score of the movie or anything like that. This is going to be a completely objective review here. I will say beforehand, no Blu-ray, no DVD today, like I usually have on here. I did order a DVD, a VHS, and a t-shirt of the film, though, so I'm going to put some links in the bio to buy those after I finish the review here. So the film is sort of a throwback to 70s and 80s B movies and films by companies such as Troma. One of the actors in the film is actually an actor from the Troma film Sergeant Kabuki Man. So yeah, the basic premise is a killer gorilla escapes from the Detroit Zoo and goes on a murdering spree. That's about it. Not a ton story-wise here to discuss. It's a horror comedy, completely funded by Patreon. I believe the budget was around $7,000. And yeah, I was a big fan of this one. It's definitely tongue-in-cheek. The acting in it is pretty so-so for the most part, I would say at the best. It does feel like most of the movie is intentionally done poorly, just as a throwback to those Troma B movies as well. Nothing wrong with that at all. I actually really enjoyed this. A lot of the jokes in here were funny. Some of them land flat. I mean, you can only hear a joke about bananas or monkeys so many times before it gets, a little old there. But for the most part, there's so many jokes in this movie that, even if one falls flat, the next one's going to crack you up. I really enjoyed this one a lot, actually, in that respect. It's a pretty constant barrage of bizarre humor and sort of so bad that it's good filmmaking, but done in a way that you're laughing at the director and filmmakers versus laughing at them. Yeah, really enjoyed this one. The special effects are purposely bad. There's a lot of banana killings in this. That was really fun. The gorilla going through using a banana like a knife, throwing it like a tomahawk, it's fantastic. There's a lot of sort of jokes about other monkey and gorilla based movies in the past, like Planet of the Apes, King Kong, stuff like that. It's really funny there too. As well as one of the characters being named Dr. Zoomis, in reference to Dr. Loomis from Halloween. I found that really funny. Yeah, really liked the humor in this one. The cinematography was sort of done in the same way as a lot of those Troma films, with there being a cohesive main narrative as well as sort of short segments with a news team covering the monkey killings and stuff like that. Those scenes were pretty funny. I liked the newscasters in it. They did a good job, and there was parts in it where it looked like it wasn't edited. During the scene, like they messed up saying something, and the crew would laugh, and I found that really personally enjoyable. You can definitely tell that everybody that worked in this had a lot of fun with it. I did too. That definitely translates really well. I feel like a lot of people that come to my channel for the B-movie reviews versus the extreme cinema, or go to my Instagram to look at B-movie reviews, or my friends who are into that, anybody that knows me knows that I'm a big B-movie trash cinema fan. That's one of the reasons that I created this channel. This definitely scratched that itch for me in a way that not very many movies away from Troma have in recent years. I would compare the tone to something like Kung Fury or the recent Velocipaster films. Sort of that intentionally bad vibe there. And that's sort of, in some cases, in different movies, it works to varying degrees. And this one, it works actually really well. Like I said before, the jokes that fall flat are immediately covered up by something funnier, and there were several parts in this where I legitimately laughed out loud. Hilarious scenes in this, just ranging from a debate about whether Ratatouille or Toy Story is the better Pixar movie. That's one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie. It looked like it originally almost started scripted, but then went into unscripted, and it was getting like the opinions of the cast and crew, and they just kept that in the movie. I found that really funny. Um, yeah, really enjoyed this one. I would highly encourage everybody to check this out as well. Um, those are my likes, I would say. I don't have a ton of dislikes in this, other than the overuse of some jokes in it. It gets a little stale in some places like that, but nothing too bad there. As well as in the newscast scenes, there was sometimes like a fake film grain or a little bit of choppiness there that was intentional and set afterwards, just as part of the filming. I know that was a throwback to this type of movie, but in the original movies this is sort of paying homage to, I don't really care for that either. Um, it wasn't done enough that it was a huge problem, but it is worth mentioning. And during those scenes, you are probably going to notice that it's going to bother more. It's going to bother some people more than others. It bothered me a little bit just because I've seen it so much, and I don't particularly care for that fake film grain. As far as the special effects too go, most of the killings are done practical effects, and then sort of like a added after effect of a splatter of fake blood on the camera. That works sometimes, but it's done so much that it sort of loses that humor there. Not really something that detracts away from it, but it was an odd choice to have it so much there. But yeah, that's pretty much it as far as my dislikes. I mean, my likes strongly outweigh that. The humor is there. The sort of tone or vibe of the old movies is there. It's only a little bit over an hour, so it never outstays its welcome. Um, I really enjoyed this one a lot, actually. This is definitely going to be a staple of my personal B-movie collection, but this is a sort of, it fits in that group, like I said before, Velocipaster, this, Kung Fury, sort of like this new wave of intentional B-movies. Father's Day from Troma is another recent one like that. Yeah, it's got some gross out parts that aren't so gross that you're going to get disgusted, but I mean, you're going to laugh at your, despite of yourself sometimes like that. If you appreciate potty humor like I do myself, you'll definitely like those. It's a mix of the lowbrow humor there as well as the sort of throwbacks to the B films there. For fans of those movies, let's just say some examples here just so you get an idea. So as far as Troma films, this reminds me a lot of something like The Toxic Avenger, Poltergeist, stuff like that. As far as other movies like that, maybe Critters, stuff from Full Moon Pictures back in the day, the Puppet Master movies, Ginger Dead Man, stuff like that. That's sort of the vibe they're going for here. I don't want to spoil too much of the movie, but to give an idea of like the humor in this as well, sort of the like awareness of the poor quality of the film was a scene where the person that was in the monkey suit in this is running, and it's part on the costume's leg sort of rips on both sides, and he's sort of trying to cover it for the film. They just kept it in. Really great. This was a really fun movie. It's definitely got a B-movie charm there. I really appreciate this movie a lot as well. For what it does, it's sort of a movie that is hard to find these days. Velocipaster and Kung Fury were really the main standouts. Usually when people make this type of intentional like B-movie throwback, they're not very good. This is one of those exceptions, though. I have seen a lot of movies that are just stuffed on Tubi TV, Amazon Prime, stuff like that, that are just awful, or they try to be bad on purpose and they end up just being not entertaining. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of this movie. I really appreciate Addison sending me this. I bought my DVD, my VHS, and t-shirt. That should give you an idea for that. I'm going to put links in the description to buy those for yourself as well. I highly encourage everybody to go check this out. I'm going to put some links for those physical releases. It's also on Amazon Prime Video to rent, stream, buy there. Yeah, good stuff. You should all check it out, especially if you're a fan of that B-movie vibe. So final score, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. Highly recommended. I had some very minor complaints about it, but nothing that's going to hold back this film from being something that a lot of people enjoy. I hope this gets a cult audience as well, because there's not enough movies made like this out there right now. It's really something that I personally appreciate, and in these times we're in with COVID and everything, I think we all need a good laugh, and this definitely provides that. So thanks to Addison for sending me this advanced copy. I highly encourage you all to go out there, support independent cinema like this, support this style of filmmaking. Highly recommended, really good stuff. And if you're a fan of trauma, B movies, anything like that, I mean, this is a must watch for sure. So this is Herschel Gillis. Join me tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a review of Red Crocodile. I was supposed to do that today, but this was sort of an emergency review here. I'm going to do that first. So yeah, come back tomorrow and we'll get all set there. Come back and have some more laughs, some more fun. You can watch me ramble more. You can see this haircut that I need. And yeah, still no editing, still no brain cells, and still no pre-planned script. So if you are enjoying these at all, make sure to subscribe, turn that bell on for notifications. I'm Herschel Gillis, signing out for today. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.